How's it going, guys? So today is an exciting day. We are finally, after about 3 years, putting the RB26 into the Skyline. So that's the goal anyway today. So I'm gonna get the motor onto the engine hoist and then put the flywheel, clutch on, bolt the gearbox up, and then just I've got to do a few other little things to get it ready to go in the car. Gonna since the bay's been painted, it's got dust all over it, so I'll blow all that off with compressed air. And then I'm gonna jack the car up onto jack stands because we're gonna put the gearbox, like I said, gearbox on the motor and put it all in one go. And then I've also got the drive shaft in there, so hopefully just slot it in, bolt the drive shaft up, all good to go. Alright, so I'll just show you what I've been doing. I didn't really film any of this, but I brought a GDR oil water cooler. Well, it actually cools the oil, but with using the water. So yeah, that's on there. Got an aftermarket oil pressure gauge. So this is the sender, which I just had to get a 1/8 BSPT fitting into a 1/8 NGT fitting, because that's what the sender is, so that's the adapter there. And then there is another one up in here that I've bunged off, which is where you can also put the oil pressure sensor, I think, if you don't run this oil cooler. So that's all done there. I had to sort of rejig because I'm not running the heater, so I just looped it round, and then it all loops into the back of the oil cooler. So that's all done on this side. So over here, got the turbo here, got the oil feed line, and I just brought some heat sleeve for that. So that's shooting down in there, and then same for the head drain. It's got a heat sleeve as it comes quite close to the manifold and the wastegate. So some heat sleeve on there, and then we've got the oil drain here, which I then just need to put. I've got a bit of hose to go from there to there, and then yeah, it's pretty much sussed. Another thing I had to do was, I don't know if you can see, right here was notch touch out of the engine mount, because I believe these are RB20 engine mounts, not the GDR ones. So because the oil filter wouldn't tighten all the way up because it's bottoming out on that, so now we've got clearance and we can tighten it right up. So I've just put a new fuel pump in. It was real basic, so the old one was just a GDR pump, so I've got a new Deechworks 300 DW 300, and all I had to do was there's actually a power wire and a ground wire already hanging down, so I just crimped them to the new connector, put this new hose on, tighten up the clamps, and push the new filter on. Alright guys, so we've got the engine crane here, got the motor all stropped up. So I've just taken the weight off the motor so I can take it off the engine stand, and then I'll ditch the engine stand, lower it onto a tyre, so I can then put the clutch and flywheel and gearbox on. Alright guys, so I got the motor down on a tyre there, sort of still being held up, just attached by the engine crane. Got the clutch out over here and flywheel, so it's a HKS twin plate clutch. Flywheel bolts, gearbox bolts, and it's my transmission, which is an RB26 box with the what do you call it, transfer case cut off and welded up. So yeah, now we're just going to put the flywheel, clutch on, and then the gearbox on. Alright, so it's been actually 2 weeks since the last clip. Unfortunately, when I was doing up the clutch, I did one of these nuts up too tight that holds it, and it snapped one of the original pressure plate I guess what holds the pressure plate on, bolt. So anyway, my mate Matt, his dad made these up, so that was awesome, because you can't actually buy these anymore from HKS because they don't make those clutches anymore. So anyway, now the flywheel's good to go back on. Make sure I won't do those up too tight. I'll torque these down with some Loctite, and then we should be good to put the gearbox on. Right, so we've just got the flywheel on, got it Loctited and torqued to 110 foot-pounds. So now we're going to put the clutch on and do the pressure plate bolts up. Alright guys, so we've got the Skyline up on jack stands. We've got the engine, just got to crank it up and then we'll put her in. Yo! It's in. Only took me 3 years. Anyway, motor is back in the bay. So got my brother-in-law and dad to give us a hand. We managed to drop it in and get the drive shaft to line up. And so now all I have to do is bolt the drive shaft up, bolt the gearbox up, and then start plugging back in all the plugs and wires and get the fuel line set up so we can get this thing ready for its first start. So super stoked. I'll end this video here and then I'll do another video on the first startup. So thanks heaps for watching. Super stoked that I've finally got this motor in this car. It's been a massive journey, but hey, just stuck to it and we got it in. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. See you.